Today I thought I'd bring back my Illustrated Faith Day Spring Planner and kind of update you guys and show you how I've been using it. I have a couple of videos showing the inside of this. I'll link those down below so you can check that out. This was sent to me by Dayspring for review, but I wanted to show you that I am still using it and kind of show you how I've chosen to set it up and use it. It's a little bit different than how some of the other gals on YouTube have been using it, so I thought I'd show you here. So I am using the calendar portion to set up kind of my church events, my work schedule, different deadlines and things like that that I have going on. I don't carry this planner with me, and so I don't get all of my day-to-day appointments in here, but any of the major stuff goes in here, and then this just sits on my desk. But primarily what I'm using this for is my daily verse writing. And so I am using the YouVersion Bible app, and I have that on my phone and on my tablet. I will link it down below for you. And they have a place in there where you can set up to get a daily verse sent to your phone. And so I just use that one to write out here in my planner. And so I don't always get a chance to go into devotionals and go into in-depth studies every day, but this at least gives me an opportunity to be in the Word just a little bit every single day. Sometimes I miss a day, that's okay. I'll come back and fill in those verses, not a problem. I don't do verse writing on Sundays just because I'm usually at church and doing some other things, but I also take that evening, if I have time, I try to take Sunday evenings to set up my spread for the week. So I'm not decorating as I go. I am laying this stuff out the Sunday before I start, and then I have room in here to write out my verses. Now that might not work for everybody, but that works for me. Sometimes there's a lot more that needs to be written and sometimes not as much, and so I can always come back in and fill in some of these blank spaces, but I'm not worried about it. This isn't something where I'm trying to hold to all of like the artistic rules that are out there as far as working in threes and having no blank space and all that. I don't care about that in here. I'm just trying to get some color on the page and then go back in and do my verse writing. I was doing my verse writing in just a regular notebook, which is just fine, but I thought it'd be fun to use some of these other pieces that I have just floating around in my office. So you'll see a lot of Illustrated Faith die cut pieces from the different collections that they have, a lot of the Illustrated Faith print and pray shop items. I have some that I printed off. I will do a spread today and show you guys, but that is something that I do a lot of, is use the print and pray shop items. And then I have some other pieces that are just in my office in my collection from various projects over the years. So I tried on this spread to kind of pull some of these colors that are up here, but if it doesn't match, it doesn't match. Like I said, I really don't get too fussy about it. This one here, I used some printables from the print and pray shop. If I can find the different items that I'm showing you, I will link everything down below, so check that out. I also did some paint scraping with the credit card just to get some paint on the page. These are just like a regular planner thickness in the page, and so I have to be careful with how much paint I use, but I am able to use some paint in here. And then some washi. These ones I printed on just regular cardstock and then just fussy cut them out. I laid kind of everything out, leaving myself room to come in and do my verses. So you'll see I use a lot of kind of the corners. I always cover up Sunday because I'm not verse writing that day, and then upper corners and sometimes something in the middle. And that's kind of my template for how I fill these pages in. This one here, I tried doing some ink smushing with Distress inks. So I did go ahead and put some clear gesso. I will link the Dina Wakley one that I used down below. So I did prep that just because I was going to be using Distress inks that bleed through. And this is a smooth enough gesso that it doesn't tear up my pens when I write over it. Now this is a little bit more elaborate than I typically do, taking time to put gesso on the page and things like that. I probably won't always do that, but I didn't want the page to get really wrinkly, but I love watercolor, and so I did want to get that in here. And then I have a lot of the print and pray shop items printed out on clear label paper and then just stuck those down on the page. So you can see all those little pieces there. Again, kind of going with the yellows and the blues. There is this yellow up here, so that's kind of what I was pulling out. I missed a day. I'll have to go back and write in that day, but that's okay. Here is one where I took my leftover pieces from last month's Illustrated Faith Persevere devotional kit. So I finished the kit for the month, I did all my entries, and then I had a whole bunch of things left over. And so I decided to go ahead and just put those in here. Why hoard them? Why save them? Even though I'm already done with the kit at this point, I still just went ahead and added those items into here. Especially these bigger pieces are great for using in here as opposed to my Bible where I'd be covering up the pages or the text. I went ahead and used the card that comes in there. Usually I just hoard those and don't use those, but this is the way that I was able to get it down. And then some of those stickers, and again, left myself plenty of room to write in the verses. And so let's see, we're gonna head into September. So I've already set up my calendar for September. We're a little late into the week already, but I kind of wanted to show you how I set this up. So this is gonna be a little bit longer video than normal. I hope that's okay. I'll fast forward and voice over as I do this page, but I wanted to show you the products I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna be using the new Illustrative Faith Bible Journaling Kit, the Faith Over Fear. I wanted to pull some pieces and show you some tips and tricks I have for those. And then I've also pulled out this new set by Shauna Klingerman. I believe this is called Thrive. I will link it down below. And I printed everything on clear label paper. And so I kind of want to combine these pieces with those black and white pieces. And then I also pulled out my Illustrative Faith watercolors to add some paint to the items into my page. So I will go ahead and put you on fast forward and we will get a spread laid out for this week. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just go through all of these different items and pick out what I think I'm going to want to use on this spread. And so these are all the items that come in this kit here. Again, you can find that down below. I'll have a link to the unboxing as well as the other two kits that are available. And I'm just showing you here of the tip-ins. You could take these and adhere them into your planner. I'm not going to use those today, but you definitely could use them in here. And so I have this piece here that I really want to use. And so when picking pieces from my collection, I'm usually picking things that I might not want to use in my Bible journaling. So some of these larger pieces and just some things like that that I know I'm not going to use. So I went ahead and picked some of those, also fussy cut out some of the items from the Print and Pray printables that I had. And with the clear label paper, you don't have to cut right on the line. You can just really messy like cut those out. And then I'm going to take some of these pieces from that Faith is Greater Than Fear set and add some watercolor to them. So these are black and white, but you can very easily bring in some color to them. So I'm just going to pull some of the colors that are in the printables and bring those into this collection here. And so I'm just really messy, no rhyme or reason, adding a little splash of color to these pieces. They are cardstock, so you don't want to add a whole lot of water. So I was just really careful to not keep going over the same spot again and again. Just get plenty of color on there with not a lot of water, and they seem to take that just fine. So like I said, not staying in the lines, just really messy, kind of the illusion of, or just a hint of color on there is what I'm going for. So adding some yellow. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking at where I want the colored pieces down on my page, and then that's how I'm choosing the colors for these pieces. So I didn't have any yellow down in this corner, so I added some yellow to that piece. Didn't have any pink towards the top, so I added some pink to that piece. And so just kind of spread out those colors. And then I can take the printable pieces, take the backers off, stick them down. It's really quick to get these pages put together once you've picked the items that you want to go on these pages. The great thing about those printables is I can print them again and again and again. So I love these butterflies. I will probably use them in my Bible. Not a problem. I can just print another sheet off and they are ready to go. But some of these other bigger pieces from that collection, the Faith is Greater Than Fear collection, I'm going to use pieces that I don't think I want to use in my Bible. And so that's kind of where I went when I was picking pieces out. And then just taking an adhesive tape runner to apply all of those down and not really overthinking it, just slapping some stuff on there. Like I said, I try to cover up Sunday, and that's kind of a freebie spot since I don't verse write there. But when I'm laying the other pieces down, I'm keeping in mind that some of these verses or daily verses are several verses long. And so I want to make sure I have plenty of room to write those in, since that's what's important. That's what I really want to make sure I'm working on. This is just the fun part. And so I don't want to have so much of this on there that I don't have room for my daily verse writing. So I'm just trying to keep it kind of small, keep it into areas where I don't think I'm going to be doing my writing. There was this piece here, I Love Jesus and Naps. I love this piece, but it's not something that I think that I would reach for in my Bible journaling. I might, but it probably would just sit in a box and not get used. So this is a great way to use it and use up the product that you have. Don't just hoard it. Don't just wait for the perfect moment to have it. That peace, be still and know. I've had a dear friend of mine keep sending me that verse this week as we are dealing with some craziness with an evacuation that we're in the middle of and things like that. And so she keeps sending me these little notes, and so I thought it was perfect to add to this week's spread. And then I just kind of round out the page with some washi tape. I pulled some tapes from my collection and tied those in with the colors. And then I'm just going to go in with my big brush marker and add some dot detail. There's some dots on that one little die cut piece, and so I'm just bringing that into the spread, fill in some areas, and that is it. So if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And again, I will have all of these products linked down in the description bar down below, so be sure to check that out so you can pick up any of the items that you saw in today's video. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.